This is Kreskin, and the movie I'm introducing you to, I'm going to reflect upon, folks, maybe saving you some energy so you won't waste time on this film. I'm not suggesting that you miss the film, although I think it might be a constructive idea. This movie got quite a bit of attention and quite a bit of coverage, even though a lot of it was not positive. The name of the movie is Leave the World Behind. It's a very intriguing story, but let me tell you my experience in sitting in a room by myself. I happen to have a clock on the table, and I'm now watching this motion picture as I'm making notes that are being duplicated for you to read today. I couldn't figure out the first scene of the movie. The scene never seemed to end. And as it was going on, I decided to time the scene. And the first scene of the movie is over 1 hour. I kid you not. Same scene as the end of the hour and 15 minutes. You heard me say that a long time in the back of my mind, because I kept thinking, could I have watched an hour and 15 minutes? To simplify the whole story, it's about a family of people who decide to take a vacation from New York City. They embark on a vacation in the suburbs outside of New York City. Now, during this trip, they're overcome with rather ominous activity. It takes a dramatic turn while they're staying in a rented house when this family is confronted by its owner and their daughter seeking to come back to the house and to stay within the house that they own. They're trying to avoid a crippling blackout that is taking place in certain areas of the nation, cutting off electronics and TV stations and so forth. I should warn you that in the 2 hours and 50 minutes of the motion picture, there are similar scenes that you're confronted with in which other groups of people, unrelated, are put in a rather despicable, destructive setting. In some respects, making you think of the aftermath of September 11th attacks. There are predictions, not made as dramatic statements of such, but suggesting that there are reasons for anxieties about the predictions that are being reconstructed and fueled by apparently the suggestions given to those of us watching the movie. One thing is clear, folks. You need to realize how powerful television and the movie industry and TV shows can be in affecting our outlook on scenes. What becomes apparent and clear in these disturbing instances is that they take place with an uncertain world. We don't have a definition of what the world deals with, and what makes it even more precarious is there is no solution to any of the scenes in the movie. They don't come to a complete fruition, which is very unusual when you're writing a script of some kind, and as complicated as it is, there should be some endings in sight. Many of these instances could be happening to the average person or average family or group of people today. One thing seems clear. There does not seem to be a resolve to the crises. As I hinted and mentioned to you before, God's name may be brought up, but when you're watching the movie, you begin to wonder, is this just a casual, fictionalized storyteller? or is it a serious prediction of what is going to happen in the future? One thing that's clear is that we have to realize that entertainment can be a mirror of what is created, the turmoil within our minds with fear. The question when you watch this is this a prediction? Could it be happening now, or would it happen in the future? Or is it simply a reflective story? There are some explanatory and dramatic scenes, including one in which a man is stocking up on a large quantity, a setup. This is beautifully done. It's brilliantly done. And I'm telling you, is worth watching, even if you don't watch the rest of the movie. Later on, while the family is comfortably enjoying a beach scene, an oil tanker runs ashore. That's right. And the noise of it is literally deafening. When they return to the house, they notice that they are no longer functioning with electronic communications. An explanation in the story is a blackout has occurred nationwide. You hear references to hackers from time to time. You see scenes in which large herds of deer are standing motionless. It was a very ingenious, I think a very clever touch. This quiet scene, not active, not animated, of deer, but they are unmistakably symbolizing a greater force that is overcoming and threatening us. There's even a plane crash on a nearby beach, and another narrowly missed. All this goes on without any resolve. There doesn't seem to be any solution or any reason for that, why it's going on. And to relieve it, the pressure or how to overcome it, the mystery is just simply taking place. I swear this is what's going on and on and on throughout the whole movie. There's even a scene where they are seeking to join a relative in New Jersey, but find that the highway is jammed with collided self-driving Teslas. That probably rings a bell to you in your mind. As the story goes, even to the point that there's one of the characters has his teeth begin to fall out without explanation, and he believes it's related to the tick bite that suggested he needs to find out the medication for what had happened in the story. From time to time, they see the deer again. In one scene, they are surrounded by large herds of deer, and they eventually manage to scare away. Now we reveal to you the most incredibly frustrating thing about this motion picture, and that is when it ends, nothing is resolved in the lives of each of these separate people, some of whom have come together and know each other. Nothing has been finalized to help pull them out of their mess they are in. There's no resolve, no climax. The movie really has no ending. And it's one of the most boring experiences I have had in my life. And I would not advise this to be for anyone to take time to sit down and try to enjoy through the whole scenario, because it's not going to happen. It's interesting that none of the characters seem to develop to great degrees, and most of them turn against each other. Yes, that's right. They turn against each other. Yes, this is a horror movie, but it is a horror movie that goes nowhere and continues to go nowhere. It's ironic that the Obamas are executive producers of the movie, and perhaps that is the reason to stay away from the film. I don't know. After all, it's dealing with supposed home invasion, beach positions, plane crashes, and a son who was poisoned by radiation, but no one else has experienced it. No one else in the whole movie experiences the same detrimental stimuli. I really have nothing further to comment about the movie, whether it is a warning of the future, a prediction of caution, or simply a horror story. My only concern is that you would advise you not to waste your time and turn away from it.